Привет из Дубая. Вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about happiness and let's start with the definition.
Happiness, this is a state when you're feeling that everything is okay, your life is good, and you feel comfortable, completely comfortable. But not too many people are thinking that they are okay. For example, some people are laying in hospital and they have diseases. Some people maybe just lost their job. Some people maybe lost their beloved. So they feel losses and they could be happy. But if you are happy and you have several cigarettes in your pocket, as was singing Victor Tsoi, Russian singer, you're completely okay, and do not worry, be happy. Happiness, this is a moment of life, and if we wait for the present or for promotion or for bonus to be happy, then we live our life not fully.
And actually, maybe to extend to what you're saying, could we actually treat happiness as maybe some sort of like a drug? Because if at certain point of time when we get enough of what we actually want to feel more, meaning that we will reach to the point when we nothing could fulfill us our happiness, so that we just will be miserable in a way, and overall it will be compared with the food, like we just like too bloated with whatever stuff we can take, so that we can't really take anymore. So how to treat happiness in this way?
Maxim, I don't know. This should be your decision. There is a story about one guy whom I know. His name was Adrenaline, in quotes, because he was completely happy. We eaten something untasty, but he is happy. We going to some small client instead of going to rich client, and he is happy. And I was always thinking about him, why he is so happy, but it is his decision. What is going, it is okay. And one time he told me a story about Chinese peasant who was happy because he has no diseases. Then he lost his leg and everyone was thinking, oh, now you're unlucky. But suddenly a lot of people were summoned to the army, but this person was not, because he has no leg.
And you said an interesting phrase, like this is your decision. Like, should we make implicitly or explicitly or decide what exactly should be making us happy, or should be left uncontrolled? Like, should we really approach to the happiness in the systematic way, or should we just like let it happen?
When I was young and I was student of Kiev Polytechnical Institute, I was thinking that I have no sport shoes, I have no trousers, t-shirts, computer, and a lot of things, and I have lack of money and everything. But suddenly I realized that some of my mates were having almost everything, but they are also were unhappy. They were unhappy because they want more. So no one could have enough. It is also a decision. My grandma, she survived after Second World War, and sometime she was sitting completely quietly on the chair and eating some dried bread. Not bread which you buy in the shop, but these small pieces of bread which are left after, for example, dinner. And she were completely happy. And I asked her, why do you eat this bread? You are not hungry. And she saying me, after Second World War, we have no bread. And now for me, it's like a dessert.
And it also reminds me of a story like when we were living in the Kazakhstan. Basically, it was a time when the USSR fell apart, when you actually had to stay like in a long queues for to get the bread, and it was like limited amount. But the moment you taste it, like you remember it forever because it was like hot, and you really feel like happy because there was something in your stomach. So I guess it's also like a definition of what exactly you have and what is your perception. But when it comes to the happiness of other people, should we also think about making it more complex? Like, for example, I might be feel happy when I make someone happy so that they also could make happy someone else. And maybe it's also like a reference to NLP in a way when you're not like looking at yourself, but you also give it in more perspective. So whether it's like a valid point or again, like it could be like a very subjective.
You know, I will give an example from my life. All my time, I was head of something. I was a director, like CEO, and it was, I don't know exactly. It was maybe like 25 or 24. Suddenly, I get too many presents, and all of them were not suitable for me. I could not use this belt. I could not use this glass. I could not use this cap, and so other. And I invited my assistant and also my driver and ask, if you want, you could have it all. And suddenly they were so happy. They were taking so many bags with fruits, with some presents, and they were completely happy. And I was thinking, it's very funny. It's the same subject, for example, cap, or for example, some toy, or for example, I don't know, some can with caviar. I am not happy with this, but other my employees are happy. So maybe this is not about things. Maybe this is about me.
And also, when we're talking about the happiness, should it be something that we should be strive on, or maybe vice versa? Like we might be happy because we're achieving certain things, and maybe like it comes from the sport or like a tourism. When you really suffer a lot, like when you do really have like a deprived from sleep or water or food, or maybe like when you're under some stress, but at the end of the day you achieve something. And for example, let's say if you travel like in the whole day and you get just like a little cup of water, you actually would be feeling so happy. So what should be the approach here? I mean, one of the many, because obviously it might be a subjective thing, but like, should we make happiness our goal, or should it be like a side product of what we do?
I think we should be thankful to everything that happened to us. And I will say several examples. I was on a bodyguard and I was guarding a very important person. And this person and his family were killed. And my mother even read in newspaper in necrolog that maybe I was already dead. I was in hospital for several weeks. I couldn't go because my legs were, I don't know how to say, порваны связки. Tear apart.
Tear apart, tore apart.
Torn apart, but no, this not the muscles, but something in the body. I couldn't go, and it's take me to recover maybe 6 months. Even now, when I'm going, you could notice that one my leg is going not the right way, and this all 6 months I was completely unhappy. I was so miserable. I was so self-pity. I was full of self-pity, and after several months when I could go, I was so happy. I am now could go. Another example, we were making rafting on the river in Ukraine, and suddenly our raft flipped over and we lost our baggage. And we were so unhappy for several hours, and we should go like 2 days without any equipment. And suddenly we saw another boat which was filled with people, and they were singing some songs. And we come closer and ask them, do you have any food? And they give us bread, onion, and fat,
Lard.
Nothing. I never would eat it in just usual way. The bread was dried. The onion was smelling not so good. But we are so happy to eat this that it was completely happiness. And one more thing. It was one strange day. We are going to Haverla. This is largest point of Ukraine, largest mountain, something less than 3,000 meters, quite low compared, for example, to Elbrus or even Everest. But it was huge snowing. It was a blizzard, and we were going to the top not like 2 or 3 hours, but 11. And a lot of people, they were just laying and saying we don't want to go. And maybe 50 or 40 people, we were going to the mountain. And when we come to the top, we saw sun, no snow, and we are top of the world. And one girl suddenly opened a bottle with cognac, and we take like, I don't know, quite a small sip, everyone. And we were so happy. We quite well did it.
And my last question will be how knowing about happiness would help to make this world a better place.
Happiness, it should be a constant state. For example, if you wake up, you should be happy. If you have toothpaste, you're quite happy. If you have a hot drink, you're happy. If you have at least one meal per day, you're happy. If you are not happy, you could see the movies from India when people drink from luja,
Just the ground.
drink from the ground. They eat something very simple made from flavor. They wear on themselves very old materials and so on. We have a lot of reason to be happy.
А мы рассмотрели навык счастья и чем он полезен именно вам, всем мира.